Okay, today we're going to show how to put belts on a GMD600 HD2, also modern day GMD 240. These are Kuhn products. So the first thing you're going to do is you'll come over here, you'll get your belt tensioner off, take it all the way off. You'll be left with the bolt, the cap, a sleeve, and your spring. It's 18 millimeter, pretty easy to get off. Take it all the way off. The next thing I do, you'll see I have a bar there. I wedge the bar in here. I yank back, make sure all my tension is off the GMD 240. Now this thing has 4 belts on them, and you got to put them on one at a time. So I come over here to this side, and you got to put it on the first part of the pulley, and then just work it across the whole way. I get it here. The next thing I do, see if I can get my phone set up to see. Next thing I do is I come here, and you're going to want to work this wheel once you got it on the small side. And you have to try to work your wheel around to get it on. Work it around, you'll get the belt on that side. Now that you're on the first sprocket, you got to get them over. So I come here, I grab my screwdriver, I work the wheel, and I move it on over to the second. Once I'm on the second one on that side, I come back over to the short side, and you got to do the same thing. You grab them. See if I can get my phone anywhere to see this. I don't think I can do this one one-handed. Got my phone set up kind of where you can see it. You get your screwdriver, you take it in, and you'll work the belt just like you did before. Popping it on over. Into the second sprocket. And while we're on this side, work her again over into the third. And while we're here, let's see if we can get lucky and get her into the fourth recess while we're over here. Again, I'm just putting a screwdriver under it, as you can see, and riding it on over into the next one. And once you get that side all the way, you come back to this side, get your screwdriver in, work her on to that fourth groove on your V-belt. Bring it around, we got one belt on, and we'll go grab our second. And once you have your second belt, you do the same thing. I always start on the small side, so I get my belt untwisted here. Put it on our first groove on the small side. Well, second one, let's try to get lucky. Let's put her on the third groove and see what we can do. Since we've been working on it, I got it in the third groove on the small side. Run my belt on the big side here. Get my screwdriver in. Work her around to the second. And bring her back around. Put her down into the third groove. They get easier each time because the first belt, once you get it on, it holds your pressure on. So we'll come over. We'll get our next belt untangled. Untangle them, I just step on the end and twist them. Figure out which way they need to be. Got her untwisted. Come to the small side. Put her on that second closest groove to you. Come over to this side. Put her down. Then you get your fourth belt. Throw it on the small one there. You bring it up to the big one. Something to point out when you're putting this on, because it's where the belt lays. These brackets, you want to make sure that your belts are over and under, like that. Once you're on that side, make sure they don't get hung up. And then we'll come over here. We put our fourth belt on. The fourth one, sometimes you can just hold it. I'm gonna use my foot to keep it under. And what I do is run them all through a couple times, make sure they're on. You may be able to see through there, the blade's spinning on the other end. These are connected to that PTO drive shaft there. Now what we're going to do is, once we verified all of our belts are on, they're sitting in the grooves, they're not overlapping, is we need to tighten this all back up, and then we'll make sure that our belts are sitting in the grooves the right way, they're not twisted and whatnot again. And then once you grab your cap and all your parts, you'll throw it all back together. You go spring first, spacer first. Now that's important for when you're tightening it. And then finally, you'll put on your bolt back in. Now it goes quite a ways because it has a lot of tension, but it's important when you first set it up that you take it all the way off. Because if you don't, you won't have enough tension release to put your belts on. And trust me, fighting that all day is not something you want to do. Grab an impact, see if I can get her with that. Run out of juice here. Gets pretty tight at the end because you're putting that tension back on your belts. And this is something you have to come back and tighten up once you get the belts running, because they'll start stretching a little bit. And once I have them tight, I go back through, check to see that they are spinning the blades still, and all my belts are running flat and not twisted up on each other. Next thing you do is you throw in the cover and you'll be good to go. But that's a quick down and dirty how to take off the belts on a GMD 600 HD2, GMD 240. The biggest thing is take this all the way off when you first start, and that'll allow this to pivot and take the pressure off to get your old belts off and your new belts on. Thank you.